Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another exciting episode of Probably Next Week on Smackdown. I'm Bryon, and I am once again joined by a man who was sports entertained last week on that fantastic Miracle on 34th Street fight. Mike, say hi, Mike.
Yeah, I remember you saying they always have one, and I was like, no. I mean, I don't think Road Dogg is going to remember that they always have one, but they actually did. So, you know what? Credit to Road Dogg for figuring out how to make SmackDown a little bit of sports entertaining for at least one segment.
Hell yeah. Our Truth was the Easter Bunny. Ozawa was an elf. Otis was Santa Claus. I mean, come on, man. That's the holiday spirit right there. And then you can put Joe Hendry on there, and they'll be a tag team or a faction called the Jobbers, and that's your future. That's your future faction right there. Somehow they are more
Yes.
charismatic than the MFT, but whatever. Anyway, it is well as of the time of this video that we're recording, it is kind of the end of the year 2025, and we are predicting the first show of the new year on January 2nd, 2026. But before we get into that stuff, Mike did his picks, his nominees, and the winner for the Golden Jobber of the Year. And now it is my turn to pick my nominees and give you my winner of the LA Knight Memorial Golden Jobber of the Year award. As I said earlier, there were a lot of nominees, and Mike picked his winner, as I said previously, and it was very, very justified. And now I guess it is my turn. So here are my nominees for the Golden Jobber of the Year, regardless of brand, but whatever, we'll just get to it anyway. First one, as Mike said earlier, is of course Drew McIntyre. He has had a horrible 2025 in terms of booking. I think Drew McIntyre certainly deserves better given his talent, given his in-ring work. I think after the feud with CM Punk in 2024, 2025 was kind of like a year for him to sort of be put down in terms of his status on the card. And as a result, I think it's not doing him very well. I think his feud with Cody Rhodes is just not the best right now when it comes to building him up as a superstar. But hopefully he does gain his title in the new year, so that even if he wins that title on the episode of SmackDown, I think it's in Berlin, Germany, that still does not erase the fact that Drew McIntyre was pretty bad in terms of booking. He was not having a great 2025, so I put him on this list. The second Golden Jobber of the Year nominee for me has got to be controversial, but I put him here because I think he fits the status. And that is, of course, Damian Priest. I think his feud with Aleister Black is just so tiring, so goddamn awful, it's never ending, that I don't know where they're going with Damian Priest after this. Really. They put him up with Rhea Ripley to get some wins, sure, but that sort of, I guess, leads to the fact that Damian Priest can't win his matches alone. And if this ambulance match that's going to be announced and happening soon enough, and Damian Priest loses, it's going to be hard to take him seriously as a superstar if he doesn't win. And still, doesn't erase the fact that Damian Priest doesn't have a great 2025. He was put on SmackDown for what? Having a feud against Aleister Black that's never ending, and then other feuds that people don't remember or think it led to nowhere. It's just not great. So I put Damian Priest on here as a nominee, and I think he is certainly up there. The last nominee, because Mike picked 3 and he decided to go on 2, but I might as well go with the original 3. The third is also controversial, but I think if it's on here, he is not part of the WWE anymore, but I think that his year in 2025 in the WWE is pretty bad. So I gotta put him here, and that is Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross has the potential to be a fantastic superstar or wrestler in the WWE. Unfortunately, his year is pretty bad, including his feud against Sami Zayn. People got behind him, and that led to nowhere. And it didn't help that his backstage antics of complaining about Logan Paul and the current state of the product certainly didn't help him. That led to him being ousted from the company, and we got Aleister Black, who is Karrion Kross from Temu, as a result. But Karrion Kross had a terrible year and didn't really do well with regards to a lot of what happened on there. So, gotta put him on there as a nominee. And yeah, those are my nominees. And this is a close one. All of my picks, I want all of my picks to be very, very close in terms of what qualifies as Golden Jobber of the Year for me. And I think that the winner from these three nominees has got to be Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre re-signed with the company, what is it, last year or something like that? And this is what you have him do? I just think that for someone who re-signed with the company after The Rock gave him a Claymore sword just as a prize for staying with the company, to reward him with such god-awful booking this year is just horrible. And I wouldn't treat someone who decided to stay with the company instead of just going anywhere else with just losing a feud, a major one at that. And I do hope that Drew McIntyre does get his title in the year of our Lord 2026. But if he does not, it will be the nail in the coffin for Drew McIntyre in terms of his career as a superstar. I don't know how they're gonna build him back up. And honestly, even if he wins, it still doesn't erase the fact that he had a terrible 2025. And hopefully things do get better with him in 2026. But yeah, terrible booking, just terrible all around for Drew, even after re-signing with the company. And yeah, I mean, Karrion Kross is doing well in the indies. That's good. So that kind of offsets that. And Damian Priest, oh, God knows. I don't think a lot of people kind of care about Damian Priest for him to sort of be the Golden Jobber of the Year. But Drew McIntyre, I can see a lot of people caring about Drew, especially with the work that he does and all of that. So yeah, Mike is right. I'm picking Drew McIntyre as my Golden Jobber of the Year 2026. I guess anything else you want to add to that, Mike? About Drew McIntyre? Or shall we move on?
I mean, I don't know if he's like truly reached jobber status, because the only guy he's really jobbed out to has been Cody Rhodes.
Well, yes, but even with like a feud like that, I think even with like a major feud, it kind of takes some like luster away from him. You know what I mean? There's like feuds that can break certain individual status in the company. Like even popular people like Kurt Angle or maybe even like Roman Reigns. There are certain feuds that you can kind of tell that their status is kind of changed after that in a negative way. And I think Drew is an example of that. Sure, he didn't have like a lot of feuds in 2026 or 25, I should say. But that feud sort of made him not the best in terms of the standing with the company and the other folks, I guess. I don't know. I just like Drew McIntyre. I'm a fan, but just seeing him get put down in this like one feud hopefully not next year, is just the icing on the cake to just put him on there.
Yeah. I think he'll get a title in 2025. There's really no reason why he shouldn't be in the top spot.
26, you mean? We're just scrambling the years.
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, as we did with LA Knight, we are going to send a high quality PNG of LA Knight, the, I don't know, Funko Pop toy or whatever, whatever image, LA Knight gold. Just put him on gold, and then LA Knight Memorial Golden Job of the Year. We're gonna email it or mail it. I'm not sure. To WWE headquarters to Drew McIntyre for him to receive this award. Congratulations to Drew for being my pick for the Golden Jobber of the Year 2025. So, without further ado, let's get to the business as usual thing here on the show, which is to predict the next episode of Smackdown according to these rules, and we book the next episode of Smackdown as well according to these rules. After we tell you what we think will happen via our booking and predictions for the next episode, we will then watch the actual next episode, and then we will score our predictions and bookings based on this scoring system. We will tell you what we got on the next episode of this show. So, let's get to the scores. I got an 11. Yes, 11. Because the majority of the appearances I got right. I didn't really get a lot in terms of winning. But I got Joe Hendry winning his match. I didn't put his match as a Miracle on 34 Street fight. But I did predict a Miracle on 34 Street fight in the show. So I guess that counts for something. And then we have, or at least I have, just the majority of appearances, Kiana, Alba Fire, Julia, Chelsea Green, Lash Legend, Charlotte Flair, Johnny Gargano, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes. That was just the majority of the points. And then Joe Hendry winning was kind of a nice +1, I suppose, to the points. But what do you have, Mike?
I didn't get much. I really only got Carmelo Hayes winning his U.S. title championship, and I believe I got the main event correct. Look at my thing here. Yeah. So those were my only 2 wins last week. Everything else was pretty mid. No, actually, I got Joe Hendry and The Miz correct. Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone got that.
Yeah, Joe Hendry and Miz, because that was yeah. Well, actually, I got them showing up. I got them showing up, and then I also got the part of Nia Jax and Lash Legend versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss as well. Correct.
Oh,
so
great. All right. Well, competition heats up next year because we have a 3-hour SmackDown, and I guess in the future, not just this next episode, but the episodes after it will be 3 hours long. So I guess there will be some more points to be potentially handed out. And we'll see. We'll see if that changes positive or negative for us in the new year. As we take a look at what's announced, we got, I think, 4 things. We have Aleister Black versus Damian Priest in an ambulance match. We have an 8-woman tag team #1 contendership match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. We have Jade Cargill versus Michin, which is a non-title fight for some reason. Okay, sure. And then we have Kit Wilson going up against an unknown wrestler. Ooh, such a mystery. And so, without further ado, let's book this thing. Get to my version of the show first, as Cody Rhodes enters the ring. Talks about what happened last week, with the stipulation announced that it is a 3 Stages of Hell match. He says that the match will be very difficult for him to win, but if it's hell that Drew wants, it is hell he will get. And he sort of riles up the people to cheer for him. And he is then attacked by Drew from behind. We have a brawl all around the ring. We have a claymore to the desk. You know, that spot where he does a claymore with Cody Rhodes kind of draped on the table. And we have a brawl, which results in Cody being on top because, you know, we got a 50-50 book this thing. He got a claymore last week. So Cody's going to win this time so that we have equal footing going into this 3 stages of hell match. And yeah, I think that Drew McIntyre should win the 3 stages of hell match. And I think Cody should probably just go away for a while and see what happens. And Drew should have the title. And I think this is when Randy comes back. They resume their feud. And we'll cap it off at WrestleMania. And yeah, that is that. I think the rivalry between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton will be pretty cool. And could tap in to, you know, I guess a lot of people consider them the best wrestlers on SmackDown right now. Or some of, but.
So what is a 3 layers of hell match, Brian?
So,
is this the Doomsday Cage from WCW? I mean, that's the only thing I would.
You mean the War Games 2000?
No, not the War Games 2000. The War Games 2000 was like the Ready to Rumble cage, but also War Games cage.
Okay.
The Doomsday match was like 3 cages on top of each other. Where they had like it was Macho Man, Randy Savage, and
is that where
Hulk
David
Hogan.
Arquette won?
No,
Was
that's
I wrong?
later. The Doomsday Cage
Okay.
match is like 93, I think. And they basically like Savage and Hogan had to fight the Dungeon of Doom all the way through the cage, like going from the first level to the second level, then down to the third level, which is an actual ring. And it was just kind of a whole thing. They had a guy called the Final Solution.
Yeah, of course. It's 1993.
So,
let me guess.
Maybe that's it. Maybe we're gonna have a Doomsday Cage match again between these. So.
Fortunately, no. It is not that. From what I've seen 3 stages of hell matches before. So basically it's just like a standard ring. There's no cage or whatever. It is a best of 3. And basically each match or each of the matches have different stipulations. So for example, Cody and Drew may start in a normal match, and then if Cody gets 1 point via, via the rules of the match, which is like it's a normal match. So if Cody wins by submission or pinfall or count out, then they go to the next match, which is, it should be escalating, right? So you're probably going to put some more extreme rules on there. It could be a tables match. It could be a ladder match. It could be, I don't know, whatever kind of match it is, but you got to escalate it, right? For the stakes. So, and then if Drew wins that one, it goes to the third match. It's kind of like a non-stop kind of affair, but it's a best of 3.
Okay.
And each match is going to be different in terms of the stipulations. So, yeah. So I think Drew wins 2-1 because that's normally how these things go, right? the face or heel wins 1 match, then they go escalate it on the next match, and then the other side wins, and then there's a tiebreaker for the third match, which is even more extreme. It could be a cage match, though. I mean, they could throw in a cage there, but I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a normal match, then some kind of tables, ladders, and chairs match, and then they'll make it like a street fight or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think Drew wins and gets the title. 2-1. Moving on, Kit Wilson faces question mark. And I think the question mark is Obafemi. And Kit Wilson, unfortunately, is going to get squashed by Obafemi in 8 seconds because we have to prove that Obafemi is a powerful wrestler. As if it wasn't already proven when he took on Cody Rhodes, but you know what? Whatever. Obafemi wins via pinfall in a squash match, and Kit Wilson can go on complaining about toxic masculinity No, that is an actual gimmick, and they attached it to Kit Wilson. Well done. Moving on to the 8-woman tag team match to determine the number one contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championship. I'm going to have the Faces win by pinfall, and the number one contenders should be Rhea and Io. I think they have a credible story there, more so than Charlotte and Alexa, and I think that they should get it. And the first feud with them probably is going to be Nia and Lash Legend. I know they're not great, but I think that they're kind of new, and they should probably. I want some newness in this division, so I think that feud is going to be fresh and should be cool, I guess, because it's new and not predictable, I guess. We'll move on. Johnny Gargano takes on Carmelo Hayes for the US Championship because Carmelo Hayes won it. Johnny Gargano beats him up and demands, or kind of indirectly, that Johnny Gargano should have a match against Carmelo Hayes for the US Championship, and we have that. And Carmelo Hayes wants to continue the legacy of Ilya Dragunov having the open challenge, so he does it. We have Carmelo winning by pinfall. We have a DIY beatdown after the match, which probably leads to Carmelo Hayes versus Tommaso Ciampa in the episode after this. Or it could be after. Who knows? It's a 3-hour Smackdown. But yeah, I think Carmelo Hayes wins because it's too early for him to lose it. So there you go. The MFTs are up next. They deliver a promo to the Wyatt Six. Solo talks about how the world is in his hands and that his family tree is still here after the Wyatt Six beat them up. And then they are all attacked by the Wyatt Six. I honestly don't know where this leads because they've exhausted all the match types. Unless Mike is right and they might do a tornado tag match for the tag team championships between the MFT and the Wyatt Six at the Royal Rumble. I think this is where it's going to lead, but I don't know. I just want this feud to end and just get it over with and get the MFTs, have a title and just assert themselves as a dominant faction. Kind of like how Division is the dominant faction on Raw, not the Judgment Day, sorry. But yeah, I'm going to have the MFTs win this feud overall. Wyatt Six gets sent to Raw, where they can dominate the tag team division there because more tag teams are sorely needed on Raw, more so than SmackDown. So there you go. Jade Cargill versus Michin. Not a title match for some inexplicable reason. And I am going to have Jade Cargill win by pinfall in a short match, I guess. And after the match, BFAB comes in to check on Michin. Jade beats them both up. I think this is ultimately going to lead to a triple threat match for Jade's title between Michin, Jade, and BFAB. God, how entertaining is that?
What a fucking title reign she has had so far, man. Like, you've had Cody going through multiple no DQ matches with Drew McIntyre. You've had CM Punk having to fend off the Vision. Here you are to have Jade Cargill feuding with two fucking jobbers for 2 months.
Yep.
Good lord.
Well, we wait for Bianca Belair to show up. That's it. We're just
really
in a holding
what
pattern.
This is they kind of booked themselves into a corner with the women's tag team division being so hot right now that they don't have any, because almost all of the main event talent on SmackDown is tied up in the women's tag team division, so you really don't have anyone else. And it's just them holding, like, keeping people interested in Jade Cargill until Bianca Belair comes back and wins the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Like, really, you can't make it interesting? Like, maybe throw someone from like NXT at her, like a Sol Ruka or something. Like, you really have to just keep feeding her the same jobbers week after week until Bianca comes back.
Yeah, I guess that's Road Dogg's plan. I really don't know. I mean, the NXT thing, it could work. I mean, throw Sol Ruka in there, sure. I mean, it gets a spotlight on the future, but I don't know, man. I think they're just putting her in a holding pattern until Bianca comes back so that we can spice up the feud between Jade and Bianca. But yeah, until then, she's just gonna have to mix it up with BFAB and Michin. Hooray! But yeah, there you go. What a fun division for the women on SmackDown. And to cap it all off, ambulance match between Damon Priest and Aleister Black to end this stupid feud. I want this feud gone, over, done with. I want this to be done after this. Jesus Christ, this has gone on for too long. We'll have Aleister Black win and move on to the US Championship. And Damien can go back to Raw and feud with Dom, I guess. I don't know. Just get this feud over with. Put him in the ambulance. And that's it. Whatever. Put him in a ambulance after doing a fireball. That works, right? Any questions?
Yeah, I think you have to have Aleister win this one, otherwise he looks like an absolute idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Aleister has more of a potential to be on the SmackDown roster than Damien Priest. But again, that just proves that Damien Priest cannot win a match on his own. And he always needs Rhea Ripley. So I think him moving back to Raw can also serve, I mean, as a sort of advancement on Rhea Ripley and Damien Priest, kind of the Terror Twins getting back together and pursuing their goals and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he should be moved back to Raw, and we can move the NXT people onto SmackDown, and we have some fresh new faces to sort of, tango with. I know that Trick Williams is also a free agent. They're planning to move him up. I think he's more suitable for SmackDown than Raw. I think Raw is kind of packed right now, so yeah, that's what I think will happen there. Any other questions before we move on to your card?
Nope, I'm ready to move on my card. I have a very long card today because we have a 3-hour SmackDown.
So, yeah, you do.
Kind of threw everything at the wall, but here we go.
No time to waste. We'll start off then with
a Cody Rhodes promo. Cody comes out, hypes up the match, puts over the match he's going to have in Berlin with Drew McIntyre. He is interrupted by one Oba Femi. Oba Femi comes out and says that he wants a rematch he was just signed to SmackDown. Actually, no, he's still the NXT champion, right? So he can't sign to SmackDown.
Really? I thought he lost the title.
I don't watch NXT, so I'm pretty sure
he was. I don't watch it either. I don't watch it either.
Ready? Time to look at the SmackDown hotel and see who the fucking NXT champion is. Maybe, let's see.
I think he is.
No, he still is. He is the NXT champion. Yes, I was right.
All right, fair enough.
So, Oba Femi comes out and he says he wants a rematch for Cody Rhodes' title. We're not his title because it wasn't for the title. He wants a rematch with Cody Rhodes. Because his previous match was interfered with because of Drew McIntyre. Cody declines this and says, I'll give you an IOU for after I'm done dealing with Drew McIntyre. This is Drew's cue to attack. And Cody manages to get over in this brawl because Oba Femi helps him out. So I think this is laying the groundwork for Drew eventually winning the title because it makes Drew look pretty strong despite losing, and gives him an opponent that he can feud with as his first opponent when he wins the title, and someone he can win over very easily without people thinking it was a bad idea. Because if Oba Femi jobs out to Drew, won't do much against him since he's new.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Okay, it's kind of interesting that you would put Oba immediately in Cody's title kind of contention. I honestly think
he was fighting him on Saturday Night's Main Event, so he was already there.
Sure, but I think that match was more of a test, and I think they would rather just move him up, I guess, to like the mid upper card first before slotting him into the Cody sort of title thing. Honestly, if Drew wins the title, it wouldn't work if Oba is like the first opponent because that would be a heel versus heel matchup, and you really don't want that. So
Well, I think Obo was working face against Drew McIntyre in that match with Cody. So, but I guess it makes sense that it wouldn't be heel versus heel. So,
yeah,
or he was more of a tweener in that match against Cody. He wasn't doing anything like, he wasn't being a heel in that match per se.
okay, yeah. I mean, he did say some stuff, but there wasn't anything overly heelish, I should say. But all right, I mean, if Obafemi is in the sort of main event spot, then I'm not mad. I think Obafemi is deserving of that spot for sure. But I
I
just
don't think
think
he gets
that
a main event spot from that. I think it's just, like, do you think that Michin and BFAB are worth feuding for the women's world title? No, but you need to give someone to the champion to make them look strong. And I think Obafemi is a good candidate for that. And then after that, he gets put into the lower card where he kind of belongs at the beginning of his run. So
all right, that's that's fair enough. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Um, I mean, SmackDown has been sort of questionable in terms of booking, so I I don't trust them to put Oba on that spot. But all right, that fair enough assumption, I suppose. But we'll see. We'll see if that comes into fruition. We'll move on then to
Jade Cargill versus Michin. I think Jade Cargill wins this match via countout after she puts Michin through a table at ringside. This ends pretty abruptly, probably in about a minute, I would say. And I really do not know where they go with this. I mean, I don't know how you could get this to be a triple threat match because Jade has so thoroughly toasted these two individuals. Um, I really don't know what you do with Jade after this. Like maybe you give her like Julia, or maybe Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair break up and maybe one of them goes after the title. I don't know. I don't think you can go to a three man because like after how do you justify having a three-way fight when one of the three has squashed the other two 4 weeks in a row?
if I was Road Dogg, I
You
would,
mean you mean Vince Russo? This is something
bro,
that Vince Russo would do.
bro. If I was booking, he's in JCW now. He's booking for the Clowns. But if I was Road Dogg, I would book a 2-on-1 handicap match in the episode after this, right? We have a backstage segment where Michin kind of talks to B-Fab and goes, all right, we cannot beat Jade on our own. What if we beat her as a team? And so, goes through to
That could work.
Jade's like, you know what? I am that B, so I can take on both of them all at once. And we
That
have
could
a
work. Yeah.
handicap match. And then there's some sort of miscommunication between Michin and B-Fab, and Jade Cargill wins that one. And then there's your justification for the triple threat. You kind of talk about the miscommunication there, and then there's some sort of disagreement. Michin and B-Fab, there's some sort of tension between them going into that triple threat. And then there you go. I guess that's that's kind of sensible, I guess. If I was Road Dogg, but I don't know, man. This is just terrible and boring, honestly. But whatever. Jade Cargill can do matches that are 8 minutes long, apparently, so it won't be long. All right. Well, we'll move on from that then to
Obafemi versus Kit Wilson, or Kit Wilson versus Obafemi. Kit Wilson had a segment backstage last week where he said that he wants to, and in his words, stomp out the toxic masculinity around here. That was his quote. It's not me paraphrasing. So he gets Obafemi, who is about as toxically masculine as you can get on the SmackDown roster beyond maybe Drew McIntyre, but he's already involved with something. So I think Obafemi wins very easily. It's another squash match, and that's sort of a preview for him where he'll eventually move up to SmackDown after he loses the title to whoever is good on NXT, I guess.
I wonder if this was input from Netflix, being like, "Hey, we need to have a character on the show that tackles the topic of toxic masculinity. Who's the guy who can fit that?" And they just go through the roster and go, "Oh yeah, Kit Wilson, that's the guy. He's the one who should be that character." There you go. I don't know. I just going from Pretty Deadly to the guy who doesn't like toxic masculinity is just like it's just a downgrade. I don't know if you agree, but I think that's a massive downgrade right
I
there.
don't know what happened to the other guy who's in Pretty Deadly. What happened to him?
I think he got injured, and then they just like
Oh,
never followed that up because
okay.
I think they think Pretty Deadly is a joke, so they're just like, I don't know, who cares? We'll just break them up. But yeah,
Okay.
uh, yeah, I guess we can all agree Kit Wilson jobs out again, and he can go back talking about toxic masculinity again. I guess. Anyway, we'll move on then to
Carmelo Hayes versus Johnny Gargano for the U.S. Championship. Johnny Gargano confronted Carmelo Hayes last week about a title shot, so he gets it this week in the in the U.S. title open. I think Carmelo Hayes wins this one via pinfall, and Trick Williams shows up after the match to confront Carmelo Hayes. Trick Williams was backstage last week talking with Nick Aldis about being signed to SmackDown. I think Oba probably eventually goes to Raw after if he has a feud with Drew McIntyre, um, or maybe they are still like sort of pseudo free agents until we have a draft or something. I don't know, but I think that this is sort of them previewing what could be a U.S. title feud. So
okay. So you don't think that Tommaso Ciampa would go after it after Johnny? I mean, Tommaso did, go after it when Ilya was champion, but
yeah, I think they're all in the mix, but I think Carmelo wins this one
it's funny that DIY is
without
like,
DIY interference.
yeah, it's funny that DIY is like the only tag team that is in contention for the US title and not any other tag team. Well, Fraxium, I guess counts, but
Yes,
that's
yeah.
it. You can't have Motor City Machine Guns or any of these Ray Phoenix and Shinsuke Nakamura. Like you can't have these other tag teams challenge for it.
Well,
It's weird.
I'll address that next, but I'm hoping that they use the fact that the MFT lost to the Wyatt Six as sort of a soft reset for the tag team division. But I
Yeah,
don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
we'll see. All right. Well, speaking of MFTs, my fungible
We have an
token.
MFT promo. We have the my familiar technologists coming out.
Okay.
No, that was I made that up on
Incorporated.
the spot. Um, and the MFTs along with Solo Sokoa come out. They say that they want another shot at the tag titles because they are a family and they will continue to be a family no matter how many times the Wyatt Six think they can put them down. They are interrupted not by the Wyatt Six, but by one Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis comes out and he says, "Listen, buddy, you've had, I think, about two shots now at the tag team titles, and you've lost both of them. So you are at the back of the line as far as I am concerned. Um, and if you want to get another shot at those tag team titles, you're going to need to earn them. And the Motor City Machine Guns come down to try and earn their spot at a number one contendership for the tag team titles. This is more, I would say, leaning into fantasy booking because I don't trust Road Dogg to do the sensible option. But because the MFTs, because if you wanted the MFTs to get the title last week or when they had the fight against the Wyatt Six, that would have been the point to do it. But now to me it seems like they might want to do a softer reset where they bring a couple of the tag teams back into the picture to make it look competitive. And I do think this ends still in a tornado tag team match between the MFTs and the Wyatt Six, where the MFTs eventually take it, and the Wyatt Six can go vanish off the face of the earth where they belong at this point. So I think this is just making it look vaguely competitive, so people will stop complaining about the fact that we had a really good tag team division on SmackDown, and these two fucking buffoons stepped in and ruined the whole party. So there you go.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
nothing on
that
Solo
makes
Sikoa is
sense.
great. He's a
Yeah.
really great promo, but I mean, it went from a competitive division to uh Bloodline Temu edition versus I don't know.
Spooky. You like spooky. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like the tag team division on SmackDown is not that great right now. It's now been sort of treated to the wayside, not as much as the US title, because I think people still treat the US title as an actual like worksman kind of title, which is what it should be. But the tag team division is almost non-existent. And all these tag teams don't have much of a character except from I guess the MFT, which frankly speaking, barely have one. But whatever. I think what you're putting out is sensible, and I do think that they should try to rectify that going into the new year. And yeah, I mean, I'll reserve my other questions. Or I guess my questions after the match that you're putting out. I think that's next, right?
Yes. Yep. This is the Motor City Machine Guns versus the MFT. I think the MFTs win thanks to interference from the rest of the MFT. The Wyatt Six show up on the stage after to confront the MFT. Um, why do I have the Motor City Machine Guns getting buried here? Well, again, this is just to kind of bring some vague competition back to the tag team division, to at least make it look a little bit competitive. But I think this eventually will be the MFT's title for a little bit. So
Huh. Okay, so I'm guessing like for the next few episodes, you're gonna have every team or tag team go up against the MFT. Is that right?
yeah, I think you'll have it maybe like for 2 episodes. You'll have them face maybe like Fraxium, another face tag team next week, and then when we get to the Rumble, when is the Rumble? End of January?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Let me look at the schedule. Let me look at the schedule. Let me go tickets and look at the schedule. No, I do not want to
Watch
buy
Randy Orton be a
a
featured superstar for the Royal Rumble. Come see Randy
I do not
Orton.
want I do not want to buy a ticket to the Royal Rumble at Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the end. It is the end of it is the last day of January. So let me see
Yeah.
how many tickets are they're $21. Really? $21 for general
21?
admission?
No way.
Why does that seem really
No
low? I mean, it is
way.
like a month away. This is what I'm seeing right now. I mean, I went to the WWE website and it seemed like,
I think it's because the Saudi Arabian government is paying for it. So
its general admission is $21. VIP the highest VIP level is $400
it's funny. Your only
according.
salvation from expensive ticket prices is a country that just now has given rights to women. What a society or world we live in, I suppose. But yeah,
Let me see who's on this poster. I mean, you have Braun Breaker, Drew McIntyre, Tiffany Stratton, what appears to be Becky Lynch, CM Punk, Charlotte Flair, Dominic Mysterio, Jade Cargill, AJ Styles, Rhea, Cody, Stephanie Vaquer, who has this really weird deadpan face going on, Roman, Brock,
yeah.
Io, and Jey Uso. So Brock Lesnar is featured for this show, according
Oh
to the poster.
well, Saudi Arabia wants him there.
Yeah, they both agree. Um, they both have similar opinions about women. So we're more than 8 minutes in. We won't get demonetized. It's okay.
Yeah, good enough.
Okay, back to the card. Yeah, so MFT win this one.
All right, great. I forgot my questions. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, that was my question actually. We'll move on then to
Damian Priest versus Aleister Black, an ambulance match. Why is this
yay.
ending in an ambulance match and not like a Hell in a Cell or something else? I don't know. Uh, I think Aleister Black wins this one. I think Damian Priest goes on to Raw to be a part of the IC title scene, possibly. Um, because after fireballing someone in the face and putting them through a table twice, only to lose is really dumb. And I don't think that'll happen. I think Aleister Black wins this one and cements himself as a threat on SmackDown.
Yeah. I got nothing. I want this feud to be over. Anyway, we'll move on then to
A Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre contract signing. So these two come out for a contract signing for their 3 stages of Hell match. They are escorted by a large security team, not featuring Doug Dillinger. And at
what
the
a deep
contract
cut.
signings, same thing happens again where, Drew McIntyre tries to claim more Cody. Cody's able to deflect it with the belt. Um, and there's a big old brawl, but no one ends up on top. And yep, there we go.
So where do you
Continue
think
this nonsense feud.
yeah, where do you think Cody goes after well I'm assuming you want Drew to win, but if Drew does win, where do you think Cody goes from here?
So what's interesting about this is that Cody at least is on the poster for the Royal Rumble. So he's got to be there somewhere. So maybe he ends up like challenging Drew again for his title at the Royal Rumble, I would assume. Or maybe he enters the Royal Rumble to try and get his title back. I don't know. Because now that makes me think he might win, which would be absolutely fucking catastrophic for Drew
Yeah,
McIntyre.
yeah, absolutely.
But if because this match in Berlin, let me look at it. Yeah, go to the so we got I gotta be in Poland, Mannheim, Germany. Is that where it is? Mannheim, Germany? Because there's Leipzig.
I think it's
So
Berlin. They said
there's
Berlin.
Leipzig. There isn't anything in Berlin. It's Leipzig. So they go to Leipzig,
What a
and
bunch of
then
liars,
oh no, my
man.
bad, my
What?
bad, my bad. No. That's a house show.
Oh,
It's a house show. I'm sorry. Um. So yeah, so they have Friday night SmackDown in Berlin, and then okay, all right, cool. Never mind. Um. So yeah, I that is the second to actually third to last SmackDown before the Rumble. So after that, you have 2 SmackDowns and then the Rumble. So I could see Cody like maybe trying to get his title back, but I don't know, man. Maybe Drew actually loses this one because it would seem really weird to, I mean, put Cody on the poster and then
yeah.
have him lose and then have him come back immediately. Like, I don't know. Maybe he loses, which, if that's the case, congratulations on winning the 2026 Golden Jobber Award, Drew McIntyre.
There you go. Just the preemptive right there. You know who's
So
not?
I
Yeah,
don't
go.
know. I don't know, man.
You know who's not on that Royal Rumble poster? LA
LA
Knight.
Knight. uh,
That's it. I
yeah,
guess LA Knight's over. He really is
he
the
really
golden
needs
jobber.
to. He really is the golden jobber. He needs to go to like he needs to go to AW. Yeah.
uh, well, we'll move on now to the main event, which is
Main event, which is the 8-woman tag team match for the number 1 contenders for the tag team titles. Despite the current tag team champions also being in this tag team match that is for the #1 contendership. Go figure. Anyway, what I think happens is the heel team win this one. Nia Jax and Lash Legend make the pinfall. Heel team win this one, and then Nia Jax and Lash Legend attack the Kabuki Warriors after the bell, and that previews them being the next champions. Oh, I think they'll end up with the tag team titles next, and give Rhea and Io a nice heel team to fight against going into the Rumble.
So, are you saying that Road Dogg forgot that the Kabuki Warriors are champions, and they put him in this match?
That, yeah, probably because like if you look at the last week the show, Nick Aldis is like, yeah, we're gonna make him for the #1 contender, and I'm like, but the current champion is also in that fight. Like, what if they win? Is
they
like,
win?
how do you like what if the face team wins? Like, who's the #1 contender? Whoever pins them? Like, how is this working out? I don't know. So
It's funny, they don't even have like a mini ass tournament for this shit. It's just like, yeah, let's put all the teams in a match. There you go. Friggin' fight it out, I guess. It's so stupid.
Brian, I think we should go to Saudi Arabia, man. I'm just like looking on this website. Yeah, some of this stuff is like pretty cheap, man. Like it's actually
Really?
like not that expensive. Yeah, it's like let me see. So what is
We could also go see the sites that Saudi Arabia has to offer, including Mr. Beastland, the WWE Experience museum thingy, and people getting killed. No, I'm kidding.
so actually it's actually stupid cheap because like I'm putting in like so I'm looking at um a menu. I don't know why. I was on the fucking website to get tickets for the Rumble, and there was like a AI generated image of a fucking restaurant below it.
What?
I just like was like, you know what? Let me actually see how cheap this is. So you can get a Wagyu beef like spring roll for like $30.
What the
Because
hell?
apparently like one USD is like or 12 cents USD is equal to one Saudi Real.
Wow,
So like $300 USD is like $1,000 over there.
that's insane.
That is
All right.
maybe we should
Well,
go. Maybe it should
yeah.
be a tax deductible purchase. We can go to the go to the Rumble
I guess we should also apologize.
on the ground reporting. On the
We should
ground
also
reporting.
apologize like CM Punk did and say, I apologize for what we said about your country. And please forgive us. And we actually like this country. Yep. I guess. And then we'll go to Mr. Beastland and have a fun old time. Just
With
remember,
Randy Orton.
with Randy Orton. Yep. All right. Well, I guess that's it. That's all we got. I guess we'll go to Saudi Arabia with a plane ticket. Oh boy. But yeah, that's all we got. That's what we predict will happen on the New Year episode of Smackdown. That is 3 hours long. God help us all. Hopefully, it is watchable. Coming into the new year, we will watch that episode and then we will give you our points on the next episode of this show. And then we will book once again what we think will happen on the next episode of SmackDown, as always. But until then, thank you for ordering a blue cheese pizza. Call probably next week on SmackDown from Grapperinos. And remember, if you're down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos. Habibi.